I'm Toddleen Dafflin, and here's another Sun TV News Alert. $5,400 forthwith or 6 months in Grand Turk Prison. That was the sentence handed down by Chief Magistrate Clifton Warner to each of the 28 poachers from the Dominican Republic who were caught in Turks and Caicos Islands waters last Thursday, July 23rd, with more than 2,000 pounds of seafood. The men appeared before the Chief Magistrate in Court Number 1 on Tuesday, July 28th, and pleaded guilty. Sun TV understands that some of the poachers' family members who live in Turks and Caicos Islands were busy trying to raise the money to pay the fines. If the fines were not paid by the time the Treasury closed on Tuesday, July 28th, the poachers will have to spend the next 6 months in jail, after which they will be deported. Prosecutor Clement Joseph said 28 men in prison for 6 months will be an additional burden on the state.
Yes, that is why we are very much trying to see if we can recover and give them the time to recover. Because we send them to prison, it's almost $5,000 a day in prison. For 28 people at 6 months, about 6 months it's going to be more. So we're trying to see if we can. I think they can't go up to Grand Turk today. So we're hoping that they can raise the money and pay the state so we could get the revenue instead.
Clement said he was satisfied with the sentence.
They were equitable. There is a case of the Court of Appeal in Bahamas, a similar case, Bello against where for similar offenses. The captain, in that case they had a captain, he was fined $20,000 and the Court of Appeal brought it down to $10,000 and the other persons brought it down from $10,000 each to $250 each. In our case it differs because we don't have a captain. So I think that the $5,400 for each individual is a just sentence.
Jose Perez, a Dominican national who lives in Providenciales, said the TCI government should get to the bottom of the situation by contacting the government of the DR to find out who are the big men who are in charge of the illegal fishing, otherwise it will keep happening.
Turks and Caicos government need to talk to the Dominican government and get to the bottom of it. Why? Because if those fellas, if they don't do what they have to do about it, then the same men, the big men who are in charge of them, who have them fishing in illegal water, he's gonna keep doing it. So I feel like the Turks and Caicos government needs to contact the Dominican government and find out, like the police or something over there, find out who are the right men who got them doing illegal things. Because they charge them today, they might release them and pay whatever, but guess what? And the end of the day, they may going back and do the same things. So somehow, so in order for that, the government to avoid those things, they have to contact the Dominican government and do what they have to do, get to the bottom of it.
The 28 poachers were fishing in 14 unlicensed vessels about 7 miles off Bush Key when they were apprehended by officers from the Department of Environment and Maritime Affairs who received a tip-off from the TCI's Marine Police Air Patrol. They were found with illegal spear guns, breathing gear, 1,462 pounds of lobsters, including 69 egg-bearing lobsters and an undisclosed amount of conch. They also had 465 pounds of parrotfish. Paul Dickenson, one of the officers from DEMA who caught the poachers, said they tried to escape at first but offered no resistance.
Well, obviously, they ran at first. And because of our vessels being way more powerful than theirs, they pretty much is easy to be apprehended. But when they were apprehended, there was no resistance at all. We observed the situation first. We pretty much see what they have on board their vessels and pretty much the size of the vessel, the speed of the vessels. And in this situation, being that it was just small vessels, we're pretty sure experienced and told us that they pretty much only had spear guns, so we pretty much know how to approach them in regards to that. So it really depends on the size vessels that they're using. So we have different approaches depending on the size vessels, but being that this was just small dinghy vessels that we refer to them as, it was pretty much an easy approach.
Dickenson said whenever poachers are caught, they always say they didn't know they were not in their own waters.
Being an experienced officer and apprehending individuals is pretty much one of the most common stories that we always say that they was commonly, and they thought that it was in their waters, and it's just about 95% of the cases, it's the same story.
I'm Toddling Dafflin, and thanks for watching this Sun TV News Alert.